My name is Joe Zaso. I grew up on Long Island, a pretty normal kid. I always wanted to act for Woody Allen or Robert Altman, but something didn't quite go as planned. I've played devils, werewolves, vampires, zombies, and even a mad scientist or two. Oh, and I like to cook. Hi, welcome back to Cafe Himbo. I'm Joe Zaso, Horror Himbo. Welcome to another exciting episode. Today, we have a special guest, as they're all special, but this one's particularly special. I remember watching this great slasher movie back in the 80s with my brother, and it left a very big impression on me, especially the finale when the killer was revealed. The movie, you may know, is Sleepaway Camp. Everybody goes, and they kind of remember that finale. And there were so many memorable characters in that movie, but particularly the one I remember most was Aunt Martha, because you made me laugh like crazy because you're so wacko.
In fact, I tied a string around my finger so I wouldn't forget. See?
That very person is here today to cook with us. Her real name, of course, is Desiree Gould, and she's here today to help me. If I could just, Desiree, you here? Desiree! Desiree!
Hi, Joe.
Oh, you're here!
How are you? I mean, I was just down there. I actually didn't even hear you. I was in the back and I was grabbing some of the groceries.
Oh, great. Oh, you brought them. How are you?
Mwah. Good to
Welcome.
see you. You
Welcome
look
to Cafe
wonderful.
Himbo. Thank
My
you,
God.
too. Look at
this
you.
is so creative. It's beautiful in here.
It's
It's
fun?
so
I know.
artistic. Well, I brought you the ingredients, my friend.
Now, what are we making today? Exactly?
Chicken Cacciatore.
Chicken Cacciatore. Cacciatore, by the way, means hunter for all you Italians out there. And they're laughing. Okay, Chicken Cacciatore.
Okay, and I brought the...
I have the spices, but did you bring all the special things
I
you
certainly
need?
did. I brought the peppers, the red peppers, the green peppers, and I bought the onions, mushrooms. We have here...
Tomato paste?
The tomato paste, salt, pepper, oregano we have over here, I noticed.
See crushed
and
tomatoes.
yes, we have the canned tomatoes.
Parsley.
Well, I think I
see
brought
some
everything.
garlic.
Yes, the garlic is delicious. We have to saute that with a little oil.
And what else?
And I think that's it. You know, I tied a string, Joe, around my finger so I wouldn't forget anything, but maybe I did. Oh my God! I forgot something. Excuse me. It's over here. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I actually forgot the chicken.
All right, we can't do tofu with this, so
here you go,
thank you very much. Okay.
I think I'll come around this way. Thank you so much. Okay.
Now, see, of course, you didn't forget, and we haven't forgotten you because
Thank you,
you're known
Joe.
for Sleepaway Camp.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of other things I'm sure you've done too, but that's what most people know you for. And can you just tell me, for starters, your career? How did you you've always acted.
Well, I started.
Or was it just a whim?
I started acting in my early 20s, and I started to study down at Herbert Berghoff, and I studied with Stephen Strimpel and Catherine Sagava. And Catherine was a Russian teacher, very, very detail-oriented and very technically oriented, and I didn't know it, but after 6 months she put her favorite students that were excelling into this advanced class. But little did I know we'd work on whole productions, whole plays, and she had friends up at this theater company called the Bristol Valley Playhouse in Naples, New York. And she brought the whole advanced class up there, and we would do full plays. And then I did other things as we went along. I studied with a lot of teachers. I studied with Barbara Loden. Do you remember Leah Kazan? He was
definitely.
Right. Barbara was married to him, and she won an award for Tony Award for After the Fall on Broadway. She was absolutely brilliant. I studied with Barbara, and lo and behold, Barbara put all of her favorite students in a show, and we did a new play with Bruce Serlin called Your Child's Secret Life, and we did that at St. Clement's Theater. And I think where I'm going with all of this, because I don't want to monopolize it, it's too much, but one show led to the other show, and then it was a little commercial, and then I did an under 5 on a soap opera, and I had an agent, Dorothy Scott at March Fields, and she started to send me out for more professional things, and lo and behold, I got cast in Sleepaway Camp.
That was good.
And I really have to say, as kooky as I could be in real life, Bob Hiltzig really developed that character for me.
Oh, no, I'm afraid that they wouldn't approve of that at all. Even though they know that I am a doctor.
And you only have two scenes in the whole
Yeah,
movie, and yet it's the one character they remember forever. I mean, there's all these, obviously, the finale is what people really remember, but Van Martha, people always did.
Well, she's corny, and thanks to
flag,
Robert
you're wearing the
Hiltzig.
hat and all that, and the little thing on the finger, and of course, you're responsible for the whole. Basically, you're responsible for the whole problem in the movie because it was your fault.
Did you know that Aunt Martha was also a psychiatrist? I bet you didn't know
I know
that.
a doctor. I always hear you say I'm a doctor. Of
Yeah,
course, you brought
right.
the physical, but,
Right.
I was going to say,
Could you imagine after
a doctor of what?
No, could you imagine what she does to this poor girl?
All I can think of is the only.
And I'm a doctor?
Because there are those who have not seen the movie, but I can just get the what you.
I know.
Poor Angela.
No, after I met people, in years, past, they'd say to me, I can't believe you did that. And I said, what do you mean you can't believe? Well, she was so insane, and you don't appear to be that insane. I will thank you so much. I'm not that insane. It was a very hard script.
There were so many memorable characters in that
Oh,
film. So many. I mean, but. Yours, but even who is she? The nasty one, the bitch of the camp.
Oh, the character was Judy. She was absolutely
the hair
marvelous.
that-
She very sexy girl, and she really had an attitude. Remember? In any of her name is Karen Fields.
Karen Fields,
And I've
okay.
seen Karen recently at conventions. She looks exactly the same, and she's starting to act all over again. By the way. Oh, look at this, Joe.
Is it
My
coming off?
ribbon is coming
Because
off.
now maybe
Aunt
is your memory
Martha's.
clearing up?
Yes.
Or bear hope.
Well, there goes.
You've been taking your Jim
audience.
Cobo. That's better.
All right.
Have you ever pronounced it Jim Cobo?
We'll just place this right
go
over
like that.
here for a very pleasant memory.
One of the projects I worked on years ago, which is still giving me the twitches, is a film called Nikos the Impaler.
Mm-hmm.
And I recall there were a few actresses on the set who had to, on the off days, were doing another movie at the same time, which I understand you were also involved in. And
Which
at the
one?
time, it was called Under Surveillance. I know we
Oh.
had Felissa Rose, of course.
Right, she's
We
a
had,
great actress, beautiful girl.
An actress named Brenda, who was in our film. She was also in that film, and an actress who I'd later meet called Rain Brown, and
Right.
she was also in this film.
Right, it was
And
great.
We are here to make Chicken Cacciatore,
Yes.
which is a very classic Italian meal, and yet and people think it's complicated. It really isn't.
Very
But if you-
simple.
Now, in a nutshell, okay. Well, first of all, first step,
Yes,
you need the chicken.
which I almost forgot.
Which you almost forgot. Now, I'm not good because I'm dangerous. I mean, basically, you take a whole chicken
Yes.
and you cut it up into about 8 pieces, or you could
Well,
maybe
you cut
buy
it
it.
up to.
Can you buy it in pieces already?
Yeah, you could buy it and you could also buy it whole and have the butcher in the back
do
just
that.
cut it up.
I could tell
But
you I was
just
doing,
cut your
like, sawing
breasts
down.
and your legs and your wings, and you just cut it off, and you
Into
have
little
your
pieces.
8 pieces, and you could cut your little legs there in
It's-
half.
Doing
So-
it yourself's a little tricky. I would
so-
ask to have somebody do it for you.
Do you want to know your little legs here could have 4 pieces, and then you have your little wings up there. Your breasts you cut in maybe 4s. You could even do that. So, all right, how do you make this, Joe?
Well, yes, and they go like machete chopping. The bone, that's the hard part. But yeah, basically, I would probably would cheat and just get the pieces already cut up. But never. This is just for the show because it looks pretty. So basically, and now
Look at that.
you're supposed to fry this first, aren't you? You take a large skillet pan or fry
Yes,
pan.
absolutely.
And you add.
And you
that
take
one?
the garlic. Well, okay, excuse me. First of all, you'll take 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. This is a very fine olive oil, very nice pulp. There it is. And then you'll take that and you'll put it into the fryer. And then you wait until it gets really hot and it's sizzling. And then you'll cut up garlic. Maybe 2, 3, 4 pieces of garlic. And then you'll put it in and just saute it a little bit, and as it browns, you're beginning to really smell that wonderful aroma. And then what you'll do is you'll, just as that's cooking, you'll take one of your little pieces and you'll dredge it in a little bit of flour, on both
Okay,
sides.
by the way,
Yes,
it's
and
good if you have a big bowl.
yeah,
and put your
just
flour
like
in it
that.
And
And
dredge, as you say.
you just dredge that, and then you take the pieces of chicken just to brown them and to give it a little bit of flavor. You'll take the chicken and you put it in the fryer.
And okay, now it's
And,
fried. You flip until
And
it's
you
golden.
just flip it back and forth until it's golden brown on
Okay.
both sides.
Now it's golden brown. Now
Now,
what?
okay, so then what you do is you take them out and you put the little pieces of chicken off to a platter.
In a bowl, a platter, okay, yeah.
And then with the same olive oil,
Same pan, we
will
haven't
then
emptied out.
We'll cut up the onion very small. We'll take a few pieces of parsley. We'll saute the parsley. That'll be thrown in later, but we will. I'm looking at it now because it's right here next to the onion. We'll use a little bit of parsley. We'll use the onion and we'll saute it. Then we'll cut up these beautiful. This is a beautiful red pepper. It's so healthy. To have these
Cleansing,
peppers.
they say,
Yeah, well, it's just healthy eating, and chicken is not that fattening, and these green peppers are not fattening, so it's a wonderful dish. So what we would do with these is wash them. Of course, we would slice them. We would slice them and then cut them maybe a little bit more, and we'd throw that in with the onions, and we'd keep sauteing that. And we would add a little salt and pepper, and we could also add just a little bit of red pepper for seasoning. We would then saute that, wait a little bit, and then we would take these delicious mushrooms. We, of course, would wash them, and we would cut them up into slivers, and then we would saute those. So as we're sauteing all of the peppers and the onions and the garlic, we're also going to use a tablespoon.
I'll explain this.
Oh, go ahead. Wait, I'd like to show you.
I don't like hands. I like these where you pull off the lid. So I'm turning, and finally I had to pull the lid up. So I said, there's no sense in fixing it.
Look at these muscles. Turn around for just a minute. Look at this.
Break everything.
This is why this Hunt's can of tomatoes is exactly the way it looks, because of his muscles. Anyway.
Not gentle.
So we'll take a little tomato paste and we'll saute it around. And we will, of course, take the whole tomatoes, and we will pour the tomatoes right in to the frying pan, and we will cook it for maybe 30 minutes until it reduces itself over and over again,
if that's thicker.
until it gets thicker and thicker. And then later on at the very, very end, we'll put in some of the oregano leaves, just a pinch, a little of the red pepper, which is marvelous, and black pepper to taste, and the sea salt, and we will just keep stirring,
Until it gets
and then we'll
thicker and thicker,
until it gets thicker and
like a
thicker,
gravy.
like a gravy. It'll be a thin gravy, but it can get thicker depending upon how the individual likes it.
Right.
And then we'll put the chicken back into it, and we have two choices. We could let it cook right on top of the oven, which we'll probably do, or we could take it and we could stick it in the oven until everything molds together, and it just comes out so delicious.
And yeah, it's good. Well, we're going to find out in a second when I prepare it. And you can put it on top of pasta if you want. You don't have to.
Absolutely.
But
That's
why
another
not
thing
make a
I
full meal?
forgot.
So in short, basically, you chop up the chicken and you fry it, more or less. Remove the pieces, add your vegetables, saute them, add wine, your
Yes,
tomato
we forgot
paste,
the wine.
your tomatoes, and that's why I don't think you mentioned the broth. The chicken broth.
Yes, a
which
little
goes-
bit of chicken
just a
broth.
little bit of chicken broth.
Tablespoon or two of the chicken broth, and a little bit, maybe a quarter of a cup of the white wine.
You mix everything together.
You mix
in the
it,
pan.
saute everything.
Saute everything
and
until it gets.
constantly sauteing so all the flavors blend and the bouquet is there. And you could actually smell the bouquet as you're cooking. It's going to be marvelous.
That's what the hot smells.
That's
like.
it.
And then you put it in the oven, bro, or can you leave everything on the stove top?
You could leave everything
Could you put
on
it maybe in like what we call it, the
casserole. Casserole.
Slow cooker. I was slow. Slow cooker. Can we put it in a slow cooker?
I wouldn't put it in a slow cooker. I would either use the a frying pan that has the sides. The little the taller frying pan, so everything will just fit beautifully into the pan, and you could saute, and then you could put reduce the heat and put a little lid on it, and I would even pull the lid a little away so the air could get circulated. The other way is you could put it into the oven, and you could just let the tops of the chicken and the red peppers and the green peppers just get a little bit burned, and it's wonderful when you take it out. And you could use the same gravy that we're using for the chicken cacciatore for the pasta.
So that all comes together.
Yeah, and that's
So it's a simple dish,
just
really.
going to be. This is one of the.
We're talking like what, a half hour, 40 minutes?
Absolutely,
complete?
not more. And I think 10 minutes or maybe 13 minutes to just cut the chicken, cut the vegetables and the mushrooms in the end. We're done.
Don't
Saute.
forget this at the end.
This is wonderful.
Right. And then that's basically, and we're going to find out.
Basically, you know, what we're doing here. So,
Okay. And I'm going to go in the kitchen and
All right.
make this, and I'm going to come right back.
I love it.
See if you could just wait 40 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to sit down with, if you don't mind.
Oh, no.
Could I have a glass of wine?
I will get you one.
All right, great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Desiree, I think we're in business. I mean, at least I think it's her, though. But, I can do something right here.
Wow! This is so beautiful. I don't know how you did this, Joe. Not
it's
only
your
are you
direction,
handsome,
Bill.
but you made
Stop
some
it. Let me
chicken
get you
cacciatore.
that.
Mwah!
Thank you so
You're
much
great.
for coming here today.
No, thank
and
you.
by the way, thank you for going to the Sleepaway Camp screening at NIFA that Brian Norton hosted.
that
Actually,
was
O'Brien owns
wonderful.
this great place.
Oh,
Remember?
it was just, it's really wonderful. It was a pleasure to be there. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm honored, and I'm honored that I'm remembered.
You're in everyone's
so thank
heart,
you.
so we can't forget
Thank
you.
you
Without
so
the red thing, of
Thank
course,
you
you
so
know.
much. Now, what do you want to do with this now? I would
Should
just.
we eat it, or
I
we
would
got
just-
point? Well, my crew is always
Your
still
crew
they're
is-
still alive, so I guess I've been cooking correctly. So
There
I
you
think we
go.
should pull out the wine. Have you seen the wine? Where is the wine?
Oh, here it is. Look at that. Oh. Did you take a schnupp of that too? That's
After he does the
wonderful.
makeup, of course.
So
Anyway.
this is what. Go ahead, Joe. Tell them that they'd have that delicious wine with this wonderful.
Delicious. You can have great wine with this, a little pasta, and then we have a party.
We have a party, and it'll never
bring the
end.
dessert, you know.
Right?
Anyway.
Oh, and you could also serve this with crusted Italian bread with olive oil. That would be absolutely divine.
That's a good idea.
Okay, sweetheart, it's all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, folks, for
Thank
tuning
you.
in. Until the next time,
Okay.
keep cooking.
Oh, I love you.
For the complete recipes and directions, please visit the official Cafe Himbo website. Buy my DVDs. For more information, please visit the Cafe Himbo site.